Hello people of the internet, my name is JD Shadow, and this is probably going to be a quick video. I hope it's quick because I just want to elaborate on a video that I saw on Twitter by a man by the name of Barnacle and Hercules put together. He posted this on his Twitter account, and I want to share with you what he said. I want to share with you exactly what he was talking about and my addendums to it, and I hope I don't get copyright flagged by him, and I hope that doesn't happen. He has asked for people to share this video, and he has called upon some bigger YouTubers like Philip DeFranco and PewDiePie in order to get this message out there. And basically what it's saying is that throughout our lives, throughout our time on this earth, we are all human, and thus we are going to make mistakes. We are going to make mistakes in life. We're going to make mistakes on social media. We're going to make mistakes everywhere, and it's our job as people to be able to grow and learn and evolve from those mistakes. However, especially in the realm of social media, we have this problem right now in which the internet is forever. There's nothing we can do about that. Unfortunately, people can use Wayback machines. They can find out things you've said back years ago and apply them to as if you have just said them yesterday or a few minutes ago. Now, unfortunately, we have already seen the damage that has caused with James Gunn, for example. Not to mention what's going on in Virginia right now with those governor's things going on, and I am not going to get into that because that's going to take a whole separate video, which I don't know if I am ever going to make something like that, because that has a whole lot of moving parts and a whole lot of controversy and some really sensitive feelings that come from that, and I don't know if I want to ruffle those feathers, at least on my mothership account. I do have a few ways in order to burn something out in the event that I want to get my thoughts out there. That having been said, there has been this epidemic going around, and I think Barnacles has actually said exactly what I have thought, but I want to add to that because I do believe that there is a culture going around. I did say something about the Virginia governor's thing. The issue I have with that initially is because there are actual Congress people and actual media outlets, especially MSNBC. They were really bad for doing this when that first broke, is to automatically call for resignations, automatically call for someone's head before they were even able to get to the bottom of what was going on. And to me, that sets the tone of the culture. That sets the tone of, hey, it is okay for someone to bring up something you did 35 years ago and apply it to now, as if not only did you not grow, not only did you not evolve your thoughts as a person, but you are not allowed to evolve, because this is how we're always going to see you. We are never going to let go of this grudge. No matter what you do, we're never going to let this go. And that is extremely damaging. That is extremely damaging to anyone who has ever walked the face of this earth, because how is somebody able to evolve if that is all you're ever going to allow yourself to see? If someone is trying to become a better person, if they are trying to say, hey, I'm going to look past such and such a thing, and then they keep bringing things back to the fold, if they keep bringing up, hey, but you said this at one point in time, 10 years later, you're still not able to shake that because they won't let you, even though you have said nothing of the sort since then. And you have more than proven to everybody, or you, in theory, proven more than enough that you are capable or are willing to see people for individuals and not based on skin color or anything like that. If you're always going to be judged based upon something stupid you did in your life, then what use is there in order to try to grow? What use is there to try to evolve? You might as well just stay racist or stay bigoted, because no matter how many times or how many ways you try to improve yourself or you try to see the light or what have you, you're never going to shake that because no one will let you. And this culture, this undeniably toxic culture we have right now, in which no one can shake anything they ever do, especially on social media, no matter how old it is or how relevant it may turn out to be, is just making us into some of the most unforgiving and some of the most uncaring caring people we have ever met, and it is ourselves. Again, what use is there in order to improve your character, in order to improve your being, if all you get is people saying, but we're never going to forget or forgive you for something you said back in 1982 or 1984. If that was the case and we were all held to that same standard, none of us will ever get a job. None of us will ever become famous. No one would ever be able to leave their house. Thankfully, this is not the case in most situations, but it's becoming more and more of a problem. And for us to be able to shake that nature, to shake that culture, the media, the people who lead us need to lead by example and apply what happened, say, in 1984 to someone in Virginia, to how they're like now. Have they continued that kind of behavior? Have they continued to think that that is okay? Have they tried to advance their life? Have they tried to advance their train of thought? When I was younger, when I was somebody who didn't know any better on the internet, I got into big trouble because I said some things to some people that if I looked at myself today and I saw myself doing those sort of things, I would smack myself on the head and saying, what the heck are you doing? Every one of us has done something stupid, has said something egregious and something unbeknownstly disgusting in their life. And we, I would hope, all regret it for what we have done. We've all made mistakes. That is the nature of being human beings. We are fallible. We are not perfect. And yes, those are things that I've said that I wish I had never said. Those are times that I wish I never did the things I've done. But you know what? I would not want somebody to find those things and then say, hey, you just said them. We're never going to forgive you for that. We're never going to say that you moved on. And I would not want to do that to anybody else unless they still have done the same thing, if they have not stopped doing what they have done, if it is in context of their current life. Unless it's like that, then why bring it back up? And yeah, personal responsibility, I do get that. But if it's that old, if it's something that came upon, say, 30 so years ago or 20 years ago, and they have not said anything of that type of nature since then, maybe it's something that you can say, hey, maybe you were stupid at that point in time. Do you regret it? And they said, yeah, I do. I own up to it. I'm sorry. We all came about it. We talked about it and we're all cool now. Okay, fine. Okay, you know what? Water under the bridge. Let's move on with our lives. That, unfortunately, is not the case now. We have not only wanted to pile upon with the punishments, but we all want to give someone a life sentence over something stupid that someone has said or something stupid that one did. And I'm not talking about murder or anything like that. I'm not talking about these serious crimes like what the lieutenant governor is going through right now, and that's a whole nother discussion there. But I would hope that everybody would want to become better people. But in order for people to become better, we as a society have to allow it to happen. And if we don't, then all we're going to do is just to kill one another because we can't ever get over one simple statement that somebody made 10 or 15 years ago or 30 years ago or something that someone did an equal amount of time ago. You have to be able to forgive people. But in order for us to be able to do it, again, and I know I'm rambling at this point, have to be able to get the media to stop fueling this in order to have them realize that they are not doing us any favors by encouraging this type of rhetoric, this type of culture. So let's do all a favor. Let's do something about this. Let's become the example. I know I have said some things that I have later regretted in my life. I know some people who I have done wrong in my life. I know I've screwed up sometimes. I know that my best friends, some of who on the internet, I had freaked out over something they were perceived to have done, and I flipped out for no reason, and I know that in my heart and soul that it's something I should never have done. And I'm sure someone in your life had done you wrong. Someone who you considered a friend, someone you considered an acquaintance or somebody like that, they did you wrong, or you guys had an argument or something like that, and you guys decided it was better, did you guys split up or were no longer friends or whatever it was? It doesn't matter who's at fault or who was right or who was wrong. Let's all show people that we can become better people. Reach out to that friend. Reach out to that person who maybe you had a quarrel with at some point in your life. Maybe we can lead by example by saying, you know what, I forgive you. I forgive you, and I want to extend an olive branch. I want to extend my hand. Perhaps we can work to build a new friendship. Maybe the old one is something that can't be repaired, but maybe a new bridge. Because that bridge that you burned down, maybe that was an old wooden creaky bridge, and this is a new steel plated bridge with steel struts in order to hold it together. Because this friendship, this second chance, is going to be stronger now. It's going to be more than just that old creaky bridge. Maybe it deserved to be burned down because it wasn't that strong. But the reason why it wasn't strong is because you didn't think before you acted, or maybe the argument you had was over a petty thing and you made it into more than what it was, or maybe they thought it was more than what it was. Again, it has nothing to do with who's at fault. It has more to do with, is it worth it to end the friendship over something as simple as whatever it was? Was it worth it? Was it worth burning that bridge? And maybe if it was an old creaky old bridge that needed to be burned down in order for a new one to be put in its place, maybe that's what it takes. Maybe you can start building that better bridge. Maybe you can start building that steel bridge that doesn't burn, at least not as easily. Whatever the case is, let's end this culture. Let's end this. Let's end this culture of never forgiving. Let's end this culture of never letting anything down, regardless of what it is or how relevant it is to how people are today. We got to become better people, and we got to allow people to become better people. We have to reward people for becoming a better society. We can't just go back to the Wayback Machine and pull something out of a hat and say, hey, you haven't paid your debt to society for this thing you've said or this thing you've done. You haven't served your life sentence yet. You deserve to have more punishment over top of whatever you felt at that point in time. We cannot become better if we are not allowed to become better people. And as long as that culture still exists, and as long as it doesn't get challenged, we will never, ever get to the point that Barnacles is asking for, which is the same thing I would ask for people to become more forgiving. My name's JD Shadow, and that just happened.